What's up, y'all? Let's talk about how to make a mistake in the weight loss process. Now, I think this is actually the first step, is recognizing that you are going to make mistakes. It is inevitable. Now let's define mistake here. And for the purpose of this video, let's define mistake as you ate something that you did not intend on eating. Now, a lot of us feel that weight loss should be a linear process, that we should be able to be perfect at it, that we kind of have an all or nothing mindset, and this is probably one of the number one things that is tripping us up and making it impossible for us to maintain long-term weight loss, is this idea that we have to be perfect. It's not going to be a linear process, I guarantee it. So a lot of us have a very low tolerance to failure. One example is we're taught that it's better to drop a class if we think we're going to fail instead of failing that class. Instead of getting that experience and learning, we're taught that it's better to not fail at all. But I'm sure you've heard that success and failure, they live in the same neighborhood. So if you are not failing, then you're not even on the right street to begin to succeed. So I don't know how many of you that are watching this video are actively in the process of trying to lose weight, but if you're not and you would like to lose weight, I'm guessing that the reason is because you have not yet mastered the art of failure yet. You need to learn how to fail. You need to become very comfortable with this. So let me talk about some ways that I see people making mistakes that is sabotaging their efforts and ultimately causing them to quit. So the first one is affectionately named the what the hell effect. This is what happens when you tell yourself, you promise yourself that I'm not gonna eat any junk today, and then you make a mistake, you eat a cookie, and then you figure, well, I already blew it, so I might as well eat 10 cookies. And right, that doesn't make any sense, but that's just an argument that our brain tells us that, oh, well, you already failed, so you might as well just throw out the baby with the bathwater. Because, yeah, there's a big difference between 1 cookie and 10 cookies, right? And then probably the biggest one that I see people doing that is sabotaging their results is they're beating themselves up relentlessly whenever they make a mistake. So this is a topic for a whole nother video, but speaking of negative self-dialogue, I used to think that once I was finally confident that all negative self-talk would be put to rest, that just wouldn't be a part of the talk in my brain anymore. But I've come to learn that negative self-talk is just part of the human experience. That people on all walks of life, different phases of life, different amounts of success, however you want to define that, everyone has some measure of negative self-talk. It's been said that if you never feel shame, if you never have any feelings of I'm not enough, then it probably means that you're a sociopath. And you guys aren't sociopaths, so I'm guessing that you have some amount of negative self-dialogue, some sort of questioning that you're not enough. And I want to tell you again that that's completely normal. But just as we can expect to make mistakes, just now that we know we're going to make mistakes, what are we going to do about it? We can expect that we're going to have that negative self-talk, and we just need to know how to redirect it. And that's the bulk of the work that I do with my clients, is teaching them how to view themselves differently and what to do with those thoughts and feelings that come up. So I want to give you 3 questions that you can ask yourself when, keyword, you make a mistake, because you're going to. So number 1, I want you to ask yourself, am I eating enough. I see a lot of people eating, maybe just an example, eating half a grapefruit for breakfast, eating a light salad for lunch, and then completely overdoing it for dinner and just binging because they're hungry. They haven't eaten enough food. But instead of recognizing that they tried to get in a fight with biology and they lost, they make it mean something about themselves. So, first question, when you make a mistake, ask, are you eating enough food? Second question, did I change too much too soon? I had a friend ask me once, and this is a friend who I'd see drinking soda on a regular basis. He asked me, hey Jamie, should I try keto? And I said, no, you should not try keto. First, I'm not personally an advocate for keto. People can do whatever they want, but my concern is maybe first you should just try to cut down on the soda. Oftentimes we try to change too much too soon, and it's because we're in this big hurry, right? What's the rush? And then the third question I want you to ask yourself is, how am I feeling? To get in touch with yourself, what were you feeling before you ate that thing? Because I guarantee, once again, that overeating is not an intellectual problem. It's an emotional problem. So many of us are not in touch with how we are feeling because every time we feel something, it's a trigger to eat. We feel restless or sad or lonely or angry or desire, and we answer that with food. So it is an emotional problem, not an intellectual problem. And the more that you can get in touch with what you are feeling in those moments when you overeat, the more leverage you're going to have over that trigger and that experience, and you're going to be able to learn from it and do something different the next time. So, go out there and fail, my friends. Fail big so that you can succeed big. It is an art. And the last thing I want to invite you to do is I just created a free weight loss guide that includes my 3 phases that I teach my clients to implement in the weight loss process. And I'll give you a little sneak peek here. Phase 1, I give you a lot of insight into what you are not doing that is making the weight loss process so miserable for you and is making it so it cannot last long term. And I give you a step that you can take so that you can get started on that journey and have long-term successful weight loss that is not, in fact, miserable, and it's very sustainable. So, again, go out and, as Miss Frizzle says, take chances, get messy, and make mistakes, and I'll see you next week.